Hey, here's a video here on my 75A-4 receiver, part one. I did a video on this the other day. I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday when I first received it. And I powered it up, and it had a couple little issues. And it's nothing major. I thought this would be kind of like my part one video and kind of the update for it. What it is, the guy, this is one of those Howard Mills restored 75A4s. I mean, this thing's beautiful. It was it was sandblasted, repainted, re-silk screened, all polished inside. And I'm going to add another video to the end of this one that show you the inside of it and everything. But what it is, when I came in here Friday, the thing had traveled from the Midwest up north. And on the way here, it sat in like Wyoming for like a whole entire day on the truck. And this thing was ice cold when I received it. So when I plugged it in, I turned it on. It was doing some weird stuff, and I was hearing a bad hum. And then I turned it off, went upstairs for a while, then I came back down to make the video, and I turned it on again. I was tuning around, and it jumped on frequency, so I turned it off again, put my voltmeter on the B positive line, turned the switch back on from standby to on, and I could see the voltage jumping up and down. Like, oh, it's that darn electrolytic cap. And what I did was I went from standby to I went click, 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 click a few times from on, and I did it like several times, and it finally cleared up and it went away. And I was able to use it all night Friday, and I used it Saturday morning. It was fine. And then Sunday morning it got really cold in the shack. It got down below freezing. That's yesterday morning. It's Monday morning here. It's also cold again today. But then Sunday morning, which was yesterday, I turned it on. It started doing the same thing again. And I clicked it on and off. I heard a crackling noise. And so I turned it off. I put my voltmeter back on, checked it. Yep, the high voltage is about to die because that electrolytic cap it's just leaking. It's almost ready to short out. And I got in there, I looked, it is the original cap. Mills did not change the original electrolytic cap in this thing. It's like C94. It's a three-section, it's a three-way 40 mic cap. So 40, 40, and 40. And that's what it is. That cap is dying. So it's no biggie. I ordered one. I do have one. But I've got like four of these I bought a long time ago. This is too tall. I'm not putting this one in. This is a four-way. I don't need a four-way. And I searched around, and this place, they make a four-way 350 volt. And what's in here is it's the original 300 volt cap. And I still cannot believe he left that cap in there, because what will happen is, probably when he restored it, the cap, it was fine. He thought, I'll just leave it in there. Big mistake. It's like you're leaving like a ticking time bomb in these things. So what happened is, on the trip down here to here from up in the Midwest here to out here to California, it was just ice cold, because when I put this thing on the desk and I would touch the side of the cabinet, you could see my handprint on the cabinet. It would just slowly start to dissipate after about 5 or 10 minutes. This thing was just ice cold. So that's why I started doing it the first day, and then I did it on Sunday because it was so cold here in the shack, which was yesterday. So I looked around, and they make a four-way 350 volt cap, and I'm like, yeah, which is the same height as the one that's in here. But I'm thinking, with today's higher line voltages and stuff, going only 50 volts higher is probably not. If they had a 375, I would have grabbed it. But they had another one of these 525s that's a three-way instead of a four-way. And because it's a three-way, it's a lot shorter. So it's a half an inch shorter. It's about this tall. It's going to be a little bit taller than the original one in here, but I'm going to go ahead and I want to make sure you never have to worry about that way. When you turn the things on, you're jolting the thing on and off, the spikes that shoot up, and everything. It won't hurt anything. Even a 350 is probably not quite enough, so I'm going to use the 525. They made a 425 and a 450, but they weren't 40s. They were like 40, 40, and 20, and they weren't the right combination. So I found a 40, 40, and 40, just like it's the same brand as this, at 525. That's a lot shorter, so that'll be perfect. Plus, it was cheaper than the four-way 40 mic that was only 350 volts, which was strange. So it's a better deal anyway, less money. So I'm going to change that cap out. It should be here later on this week. And the other thing is the speaker. This is an 8 ohm speaker. Somebody put another Jensen speaker in this thing years ago that's 8 ohms. So I ordered that Hammond matching transformer that'll take the 600 ohms out to take it down to 8 ohms. So I'll just cable tie it in there for now because I'm going to change this. I do have another speaker coming. I am going to change the speaker out in this thing again. It's also an 8 ohm, and I'm going to change the fabric. I did find some fabric. A lot of guys, they'll put new fabric and that'll be like way too white looking. Since this is yellowed, I don't know what the original color of these things were. If you found photos, it'd probably be black and white ones, right? Maybe I could find a color photo, but by then, since these things were made, when they stopped making these things, the late 50s, this is a later serial number receiver. It is one of the later serial numbers. So I did find some fabric. I haven't ordered it yet. That's just a little bit lighter than this. And that way, it won't be that much of a drastic, it won't be that drastic of a change, because you want to think, these things are old. It should look a little old and yellowed anyway. So I don't know what the actual shade was, but I found one. I can get like 3 different shades of this same color. It looks like it's almost the identical fabric, so it'll look nice. So I'll just decide which shade I'm going to go, and then I'll change it. I'm going to see if I can't find some pictures of this thing in color when it was new, but I doubt I'm going to be able to do that because most of the photos were black and white back then. So anyway, I'm going to stop this video, and I'm going to take the speaker off, and I'll show you what the inside looks like. Okay, and we're back. See, there's the inside. Looks almost like a brand new receiver. See, there's that cap. That's that original cap. The early models had what did they have? They had oh, and he also did the mod. See how you got the 2 holes there? He did the mod. There's the pots underneath it. The later Collins had another plate, and they added 2 pots under there for the S-meter adjustments and stuff. And I forget what he did here. Yeah, he moved it over. He moved that over to here. It's been put. I think it's on the bottom. It's on the bottom side of the chassis now. Yeah, you can get down and you can stick the screwdriver in there now and adjust them. The plates, it's recessed down in there a little bit. That was the official mod for these things, even with the Collins, I believe. So anyway, but that's the original cap. And the original models, the first generations, they had a different type of cap, and I believe they went on there and they had like a screw ring on the bottom. And then the later models, they started using this kind with the insulator and stuff. So, but that's the cap I got to change. That's the original cap. He went through all that work, of changing, all the parts, making this thing look like new, but he didn't change that cap. And that's like leaving a ticking time bomb, because usually what will happen is, when you first get it back, it'll work that way for like maybe a few months, maybe a year, until it eventually starts crapping out. Or what will happen is, you say you use it for a few months, and then you just set it aside, and you don't use it for a few months, and you go to use it again. That's when it'll usually happen. That's usually when it's when you let them sit for a while, then you start using it a second time. That's when they crap out. So anyway, but that's basically it. This thing's gorgeous. He even resprayed the transformers gray again, looks like, and everything. And there's a 6kc filter right there I put in, and there's a 3.1. I don't know if maybe he measured that and just said it's a 3, he figured out this was a 3.1, but I'm going to get the 9. I'm going to put the 9 there, the 6 where the 3.1 is. I'm going to move the 3.1 over here, which will be position 3. That'll be better. But this thing's nice. It's really nice. And when I pull the bottom off this thing to change out this cap, I'll do another video and show you what the underside looks like. But this thing's been all repainted. It looks like new again almost. So that's the update on this. So, but one more thing now. What I figured out was, where did I put that manual? Did I just set it? I set it somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, here it is, in my chair. I'm looking because apparently somebody else, other people have watched my first video that I did of this thing, and everybody's talking from what I've heard, and they're saying, oh, he's probably got a hum in the audio and blah, blah, blah. It's that stupid cap. That's the main problem. He just didn't change it. But I started digging around. I did look at that. He's done all the mods to it, right? It's got all the mods. He incorporated W2 VCZ's mods, and then that guy's been dead forever. He's silent. He died a long time ago, I believe. And then this guy died. K7CMS just died back in October 2021. So anyway, here's the one I'm talking about. This, because what I noticed is, no, I don't know. Like right now, I've got the 8 ohm speaker hooked to the 4 ohm tap on the output transformer, and I don't know whether that's the problem or not. But what I've noticed is, is this is why I think I may wind up putting this back to stock and undoing this mod. He basically this got moved from here over to pin 8, and he removed the 390K across here, added this 470 here, which I think is my problem, and then he reversed the leads on the primary leads on the audio transformer T5. That's the mod, and this mod's been around for a while. I don't think it's necessary. First of all, even with this impedance match, this mismatch that I have with 4 ohms going to 8 ohms, this receiver is way too loud. I mean, what I noticed is I have to turn it down because it's so loud, and when I turn it down, like say you're receiving somebody on sideband, and when I turn it down and to get it down where it's at a normal level where it's not killing your ears, it starts getting distorted. And when I turn it down too far, it's like it's been switched to AM from sideband AM, like it's no longer detecting the sideband signal. And I'm like, what? And I got to looking at this, and I think the reason it's doing that, if it's not because I have the impedance mismatch, maybe when I go to the 600 ohm outputs with that transformer down the 8 ohm speaker, maybe it'll solve the problem. I don't know. But there's 2 little things I noticed here. So when I turn it down, it sounds like it's no longer detecting. I think what's happening is because this resistor's here, the audio level, because this is the audio AF gain control pot here. This is it. This one here. This is the pot. And I think what's happening is the signal is so low here, it's causing that problem. It's just you can't. If it's turned up super loud, the audio is clear as a bell. But if you turn it down low enough to where it's not killing your ears, where it's not going to wake everybody up in the house late at night or early in the morning, because this thing is so loud the way it is, it's gonna have a problem. So let me. I'm going to change that. I'm going to add that transformer first in the back of the speaker and see what that does first. And if I still have that problem, I'm going to undo this mod completely. And the other thing I noticed is when the AF gain's turned down all the way, you can still hear audio coming through the speaker, and it sounds like when you turn it down low where it stops detecting, then you turn it down all the way, you could still hear it in the speaker. And I'm like, that should be completely off, and it's not doing it. And I think it's because I'm on that 4 ohm tap, and he's moved that thing over to here. So that's what I need to look at. So I need to see what that matching transformer for the speaker does first, and then if it doesn't fix it, I'm gonna undo this mod. It probably wouldn't hurt to put like maybe a 470K here instead of the 390. I could try that, but I'll probably start with the 390 if I have to do it. I'll just jump her across this cap. And what you can do is, see, it's a 0.01. You could put 0.1s here, but that might start inducing hum. What I'll probably do is I'll probably change this to like a 0.05. I was looking at the schematic. I don't know why this mod really is not necessary. People go to extreme. They go overboard on this stuff sometimes, and some of these mods can actually cause problems like what I just mentioned, if that's what's causing it. So I was looking at the schematic. Let me see here real quick. Where is it here? It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. Oh my God. But anyway, I was looking. I got too much stuff here on the desk, but I was looking at it, and first of all, there's the 3-way 40 mic. There's section A and B, and then the other section C it's a decoupling cap somewhere on one of the plate lines. Where is it? I forget. It's somewhere. It's decoupling one of the plates on one of the tubes. I forget where it is, but I'm looking at this thing, and there's the transformer there. Plus, see, also they have this 0.01 here. You can reduce this down to maybe like a 0.01 at a minimum, but I'll probably change this if I have to undo that mod. If I have to undo it, I'll probably change that to like a 0.005, and I'll change this to a 0.05 instead of a 0.01. And then I'll come over here where the AF gain control pot is from this stage, and I'll put a 0.05 there because I don't want to induce hum in this thing. I'll probably do that, and I'll change those out. I'll just change those. I'll just bump those up to 0.05s. And then a 0.005 here on this one. And then, seems I remember something, there was something about the noise limiter years ago. Oh yeah, I think I remember now. I remember hearing this years ago. Somebody said that in the later models, they added these 510, yeah, here's one of them here. There's one of them there on this noise limiter, and apparently this, kills the fidelity too a little bit. So I could probably clip those or just clip those loose. It'd probably help. I need to go research and find out exactly why Collins added those, because these were not on. There's another one here where was it? There's at least two of them that I remember. I don't know where the other one is. There's one there and there's another one. It's here somewhere. I just can't find it. Where is it? It's here somewhere. I'll find it, but there's two of those. Oh, right there at the cathode. There it is, right there to ground. You can clip those loose and it'll improve the fidelity some too. I think it's on the high end if I remember. So, but that's just some simple mods I can do. And that in itself, you know, and then I could probably, there's that 390 he removed. You could probably increase that a little bit to improve it some more, and that probably wouldn't hurt anything. You could play around with that value, but I think that's why when you turn it down to the lower audio levels, it starts like not, it's that the audio's not coming through. And I think it's because of this. Like I said, that 470 he added in series with the. I think it's because of this here. So when you turn it down too far, you're not getting enough signal in here, and I think that's the problem. If that's the case, it's a bad mod, but I need to see what it'll do with that matching transformer first. So I'll do another video on this thing later on in the week when I get this cap in, the new cap in, and get it installed, and I'll show you what the underside looks like, and I can go over this more in detail, and I'll try it, I'll power it up again, I'll see what happens. If I still have the problem after I put that transformer in there, then I'll go and I'll undo this mod and go from there. So that's all for now. This is W5HRO with part one of the Collins 75A4 receiver.